Marriage Story. Okay, this is probably going to be the last movie of the year that I watch if I don't go see Star Wars. And I'm thinking about skipping that one. It's pretty obvious why, but on to the movie. This movie is directed by Noah Baumbach, who also did such movies. He's the as the Squid and the Whale. He got nominated for Best Original Screenplay for that movie, and he's known for doing dramatic comedies. Okay, Marriage Story is about two people who decide that they're going to get a divorce. Nothing you haven't heard before because everybody knows that those of us that have single parents or have had parents that had to watch their own parents divorce or a marriage dissolve in front of you, and it's pretty devastating. And this movie explores that aspect, starring with an all-star cast. I'm just going to name the actors that I'm familiar with, and Scarlett Johansson, uh, also Adam Driver, as well as Laura Dern and joined by Ray Liotta and Julie Haggerty, as well as Wallace Shawn and Mariette Weaver and Alan Alda, as well as Azzy Robertson. Okay, this movie explores that aspect, and it's probably one of the most. I mean, I'm not a marriage counselor here, but this is probably I've seen those of us who have had a friend or whatever, like or had to watch your parents divorce, get into an extremely messy divorce. Okay, this movie is about as far away as you could get from that. Okay, the movie starts out with them talking, at the marriage counselor. They're trying to, and they're trying to work their differences out. So they all really what they have to say to about each other. They ask different questions, and it starts with an amazing monologue with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. They're they don't have anything in particularly bad to say. It's like they try to find good things to say about each other because usually divorces, as we've observed many years in film or family members, it's pretty messy, and we've seen it with celebrities, and they're trying they try to find all the best attributes, the best personality wise about each other. They're not trying to talk garbage. This movie's not about like a you're not don't expect this is not Fatal Attraction. This is not a movie. This is about as mundane and laid back as you can get. But this movie is wonderfully directed, amazingly portrayed and acted. I mean, acting is the the performances on this movie is just raise a new bar when it comes to acting. I mean, it is so so powerfully acted. It is so in your face, and not in a way that, like I said, like there, this is not a crime drama. This is not where you see, okay, who's the bad guy in this movie? Who's gonna be? Is it gonna be the husband or the wife that's the bad guy, or is somebody gonna, the usual? I mean, it's a reality check here, okay? Because yeah, it happens in real life. This is something that where art, life imitates art because this kind of stuff happens every day. So they're both in a lot of pain. They're trying to at the same time they're trying to keep their families together. They're bounded because they have a child. They have, the boy in this film, Azzy Robertson, who plays their child, played Nicole's a boy. So they're trying to find like a way to coexist, knowing that they have to sign the divorce documents, and yeah, and it hurts and it's killing them, and you really see that on the screen. But at the same time, there are parts in this movie where I laughed, and I don't know if I was supposed to laugh or not, but it wasn't awkward. But there was parts of this movie that made me laugh out loud that were funny, I think just hearing Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver curse like that, I thought it was hilarious. It's just I'm just not used to hearing them I'm not used to seeing her do movies like this because usually the movies I've seen her do are science fiction, fantasy, or action, or kind of like closer to fantasy films. And Adam Driver, I'm just barely getting on the ship with this guy on the bandwagon. I think he's probably one of the best actors, best new actors I've seen in quite a long time because he really both. Let me put it to you this way: there's a particular scene on this movie where they're both dealing with the devastation of losing each other or of not feeling the okay, the reason they're getting there, I had to make sure. Okay, why? Okay, usually divorces happen for different reasons: for money, for infidelity, or because there's no love left. There's or because sometimes in the heat of passion, love dies. It's pretty sad, but this movie proves that love doesn't. A true love does not really die like people think or like people say. As far as relationships are concerned, and and both Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. I'm not saying anybody's not any good in this movie because everybody does an amazing. Laura Dern, she's been nominated for Best Supporting Actress on here. She plays Scarlett's lawyer on here, and there is a conflict of interest because the lawyers they're trying to they're lawyers. They're there to win a case. They're not, but so it's like they want them to get into a conflict of interest. So the reason they're allowed to the reason why they're getting divorced because they both live in different parts of the country. Scarlett Johansson plays an actress a stage actor who becomes an actress, and she wants to become an actress, but she decides not to pursue her career because she has a baby with him, and he meets her on set of his own movie because he is a up and coming director on this movie, and they fall in love, and then so the reason they get divorced is because he has an affair with somebody that and in one of his projects or one of his movies or one of his stage directions. So I mean, infidelity has existed since the beginning of time. But what I really love about this movie, it's like I said, there's no good guys. There are no good guys or bad guys on this movie. This is not the MCU. This is not Law and Order. This is not Chicago PD. This is about as how do you say? How can I name it? As about as painless as possible. At the same time, it's not painless because they're both trying to deal with this loss, and they really do feel something. It's like they wanna try to make it work, but they know it's over. It's like knowing that you you have no choice but to do this. To give your end your marriage because there's nothing left anymore. But at the same time, you want to try to keep your family together because it's not because it's also not because they have a child together. It's because they do have some kind of love for each other, and it really shows on the screen. And there's probably some really awkwardly funny moments also. That I but one of the most what I like about Noah Baumbach, he has a very interesting take on any kind of. I mean, this. I think this is probably the first time I've seen this guy direct. So he has a very interesting take on these movies because both there's a scene where each of them actually do a musical number, and Adam Adam he's in this party inside this restaurant. He starts to sing a song about it's his way of coping with his of losing his wife or ending his marriage, and he sings it. He kind of sings it on the microphone. He performs it in front of you. It's his way of venting his pain, his disillusionment for his marriage. And Scarlett does the same thing at this party, and with her mother, played by Julie Haggerty, and her sister, played by Merritt Weaver. And she does like a little musical number because it's well known that Scarlett Johansson is actually an accomplished vocalist and singer as well. So I like that. I thought that was really I, I at first I thought it was really awkward because I'm just not used to this kind of stuff because I'm a diehard action type of guy, but and science fiction and fantasy kind of stuff. So yeah, every now and then I'll be touched by an amazing drama. This is more than just an amazing drama. So there's also a scene where I thought that there was going to be some kind of fight. Not not literal. I don't. I'm not saying that I was going to see them actually fist fight or throw stuff at each other, or he was going to try to choke her out or something. But I kind of thought something was going to happen, maybe a push or something. And really, so this movie is like I said. This I could compare this movie to probably another Grammy or Oscar nominated movie, Kramer versus Kramer from the early 1980s. I remember seeing that movie. I don't know. I've seen a lot of movies as a child. That was one of them, and I'm kind of naming that movie because it does have some similarities, but that movie was a little bit more laser focused as far as the breakup is concerned, as far as the motives, because why they're getting a divorce and why they want to sign the paperwork to end their marriage. And in this movie, like I said, it's like okay, let's just say you broke up and yeah, you're gonna get divorced, but you have no ill will towards your former spouse, but you wanna try to keep your family together because you really deep down inside you really still love that person, but you don't got no other choice. This is the only alternative that you got, and I really I it can happen. I'm gonna sit here and start rambling about relationships or watching your mom and dad get divorced in front of you as a child, but so that's what this movie's like for me. But it breathes new life into to me, a dying genre of movies that really could actually bore you. Because normally a movie like this would bore me to death and I'd fall asleep. But this movie, it grabs me from the soul, from the get go, from the very beginning, and that's what I love about it. Okay. The selling point is because yeah, everybody knows who Scarlett Johansson is. She's Black Widow and then some, and a bunch of different um, actor performances, and who Adam Driver is. I just barely knew the guy from The Force Awakens, so I'm kind of jumping on board barely with this guy, but I think he's probably one of the best actors I've seen in years. And I really my hats off to everybody in this movie, and I really there I go. I'm rambling twice. It's just a really good movie, and I just want I want to talk about the final scene that really there's there's one argument scene in this whole entire film where they actually argue because like I said they spend more time trying to compliment each other, trying to be friends, trying to be their families together because their families are trying to kind of I'm not saying they're trying to exacerbate everything or try to stir up a legal custody battle between the two, but they're and and especially the lawyers because they're trying. That's their job. They're there to win a case, to state a case about who was if there's if infidelity can be proven. Okay, now I want to get into that scene. Okay, there's a scene, the only scene where you actually see one argument in the entire film, and it's probably one of the most powerful scenes I've seen on a movie this year, where they have this argument. There's only probably one argument in this entire film because they spend more time trying to keep their families together, trying to make sure that there's no that this is going to be painless because nothing about divorce is painless. But they have an argument, and Adam hits or punches the wall and actually breaks the wall. and that's it, you know. And they're so they kind of show each of them in different situations and scenes showing how they're dealing with the pain of having to divorce each other, and they do it really well. And there's a scene where actually I thought that Adam Driver, I guess he cut himself. Uh, it looks like on the surface it looked like he tried to commit suicide or he slit his wrist, but it was by mistake. And because up to this point they had this two different people come from to examine how each each of the parents act. Because they're separating. There's no custody battle. They're giving equal. They're trying to find a way to coexist and have their child at the same time and go on, move on with their lives. So they have two different, how do you? They have some people come and look over and see how they behave with as parents, if they're if they're good enough to to have because usually this is what happens in real life. This is a very real problem. It's a very real thing that happens. And when two people are getting divorced, they have to call in people, a social worker, to come and check on and see if they qualify to have their kid be able to have joint custody of the child. So he's on the ground. It looks like they're gonna have to call the ambulance, and the little boy looks like he's gonna pass out, and that little boy's gonna end up, being alone, and he's gonna lose custody, joint custody of the kid, and nothing happened. He's it's just that he's dealing with so much regret and so much heartbreak. The heartache is just unbearable for him, and then I the movie ends in a way that just divorces. Not a lot of divorces end this way. I mean, like I said, when I watch this movie, I think about my mother and my dad divorcing when I was younger, and that's the way I look at this movie, and that's how it touched me because you want, as a child, you don't know exactly what's going on, but you know that your parents are separating and they've been bickering. But like I said, there's no arguments, and there's no good guy or bad guy. There's no devil's advocate on here. There is. It's just them trying to make this work, to be parents at the same time, move on with their lives. So at the very end, it kind of, for me, in a way, it kind of ended too abruptly for me because she meets a new guy. She has a boyfriend, and he goes to pick up their boy, and that's pretty much it, and she deep down inside, Nicole really does love her husband. She really loves him, but she doesn't. She knows that like I said, it's accepting that there's nothing you can do about it. It's over, and that's the sad part. But at the same time, it kind of gives the movie a little bit closure because they move on. Like I said, this is not no silly, cheesy, Fatal Attraction or Stalker movie. This is a beautifully directed, beautifully acted, beautiful. I mean, and like I said, I usually don't go for movies like this because it just has to be a really good movie. And okay, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give Marriage Story. This movie's definitely got to be on my top three for 2000 best movies of 2019. Not just because we love these actors, but because this is just a damn good movie, and this movie is no doubt it's gonna walk away with a lot of Grammys, and it's gonna sweep at the Oscars. I'm guessing, because I'm also thinking about Avengers Endgame and Joker because I can't discount those. Okay, so I'm gonna give this movie. All right, I'm gonna give Marriage Story. Let's celebrate. This movie is Oscar worthy rating because it is just no doubt that why this movie's been nominated for Golden Globes, and I think it's gonna sweep at the Oscars too. and not because I mean it just goes to show that Martin Scorsese had a very just real quick before I sign off. Martin Scorsese, he's a very well-known director. He has done a lot of really good, including more recently The Irishman, and I haven't gotten a chance to see that, even though I have Netflix. Had a very critical thing to say about Marvel movies, and Scarlett Johansson. The main reason why she is a superstar is because her portrayal of everybody's favorite super spy, Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. But I refuse to think that she's just a pretty face. She's just marketable because she has so much charisma, so much things going for her. No, let's look at her like what she is. She's not just an MCU actress. She is an actress, a definitive actress. There's no doubt why she's the highest paid actress in the entire world right now, and there's no doubt in my mind that she deserved every bit of recognition, of every bit of admiration from us, her audience. I'm trying to say is that this is, she is an actress. She's not just a like Martin Scorsese said it, that Marvel movies are just theme parks. They're not actual. You can't take them as movies. You can't take them seriously. They're not movies. They're more like theme parks, or like going to Universal Studios for 2 hours or something. No. So Marriage Story is probably going to be it is Oscar worthy because it is probably one of the best, if not the best movie of 2019 for me, and it is so late in the year to say that. But after seeing this movie, I am just floored. I am blown completely away by the sheer awesomeness of this movie, and this is not an MCU movie. This is not an action movie. This is about as calm, and this movie, it has every elements of comedy. This movie is delightful. I don't want to sound cheesy here, but this movie's delightful. It is heartwarming. It is heart-stopping. It is melancholy. It is sad. It makes you laugh. It makes you sad. It makes you like I laughed at parts of this movie that I don't know if I was supposed to laugh at. That's how good director Noah Baumbach is. I mean, this is my first time over with this guy's type of film, and I gotta say that it's no doubt this guy definitely has to have an Oscar nod as well because for best director. Because okay, because we all love Avengers Endgame and we love the Joker, but let's give this movie a little props here. Okay, all right, you guys, tell me what you think of. Have you guys seen Marriage Story? If you have, I know you heard me say this before, but you gotta watch this movie. I mean, I don't care if what kind of person you are, what kind of movie aficionado you are. No, watch this movie. It is worth every bit of your time. 2 hours and almost. It's 2 hours and like 15 minutes or something like that. 2 hours and 20 minutes, almost 2 hours and a half. But it is worth every your time. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you, and get ready once again for my best 2019 movies as well as my worst of list. And I decided to do my Oscar, my version of the Oscars next year because I wanna see if I'm gonna be able to catch Star Wars, and I wanna just do it next year because that's usually how it goes with the real Oscars. You guys be prepared for that because I'll be doing everything. It's the exact version of the Oscars, of course, in a smaller scope with me on my YouTube channel. So I hope you tell me you guys what you think about what I'm doing with that, and all right, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and tell people about this YouTube channel because I am the YouTube alternative and I am still your reviewer. And I will see you guys. Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a great New Year as well. A safe Christmas, a safe New Year. Okay, you guys. All right. See you later. Bye.